Jared Parry, Boxing Social, in association with Empire Fight Store and Forged Irish Stout. Delighted to be joined by Johnny Nelson. We're here in Cardiff. Jessica McCaskill against Lauren Price. It's a world title shot for Wales' Olympic hero. How are you feeling about this fight?
You know what? I actually, initially when this fight was muted, I thought, wow, that's a tough fight for Lauren. And Lauren can fight. And Lauren likes to fight for fun. She'd do it even if there were no cameras there. So this girl can fight. She's 29 years old. She's against a 39-year-old champion. This age against experience. McAskill, confident as hell. Her husband's her coach, so they understand the business. They understand the fact that it's not just about being able to do a good fight. It's about being able to monetize the position you're in. In this fight against Lauren, she's thinking, you know what? Get her now before this girl gets any better. It's a good fight, a dangerous fight for Lauren. If Lauren pulls this off, she's done an amazing thing to pull this off. This is a tough fight, but she also puts herself in deep waters because once she's champion, you will have to fight other experienced fighters that were champions, or possibly get unification fight. These are good fights, and it's a good fight for Lauren. If people think this is a pushover, it's a done deal for her. It's far from it. So success, her winning, is a bigger deal than people actually realise. McAskill can fight.
I want to touch on something that you said at the start there. Lauren likes to fight for fun. Now, a big thing that everyone talked about Lauren in the programme, she came in with an Olympic gold medal. She's boxed and won every single round. But she said to me in an interview yesterday, I don't think people realise I can fight too. Do you think that could be a big element and we can see that side of Lauren coming out in this fight?
So boxing isn't just about putting your gloves on and tipping and tapping and getting out of digging. Boxing's about mental warfare, understanding, being comfortable up close and personal, understanding about wrestling your opponent and putting them under pressure. Lauren's always been in combat sports all her life, and that's why she's saying, I can fight too. You know, some people are great boxers, but they'll be crap street fighters. Lauren can fight, and so when she's saying I can fight too, it's like Tyson Fury. He can fight. You know, he doesn't just box, he'll whack you in the elbow, pull you out, he'll do everything. He can fight. It's warfare, so she understands the art of warfare. And this is what a lot of fighters misunderstand. They've got to understand the art of warfare. Lauren understands the art of warfare, and that's why in that statement alone, you've got to understand what she means by it.
It's, like you said as well, it's not an opponent to be looked over. McAskill, legitimate champion, she's been in with them all. Katie Taylor, Cecilia Breakhouse, Chantel Cameron, to name a few. You know, not many people in the division, such as like Tasha Jonas and Sandy Ryan, the other two champions, have said that they want to fight Lauren Price. Do you think now that if she wins this fight and she's got something to bring to the table, it'll open up all them doors?
McAskill's smart. She's fighting her now. Because if she leaves 2 or 3 or 4 fights down the line, this fight's a lot harder than it will be Saturday night. And it's the same with everybody else. They're developing amnesia with Lauren. It's easy to do that because she's inexperienced. She's not got, ignore her. She's got youth, she's got confidence, she's got self-belief behind her. Makes her dangerous. So it's very convenient for everybody else around her to ignore her, to let it fall on deaf ears. If Lauren wins this, she's in a position where they can't ignore her. They've got to fight her. That's the last thing they want. She can potentially be a complete package, a dangerous fighter, but she's lacking in experience. This is a hard fight for her, and if she gets through it, then it makes it a dangerous commodity.
I want to talk about the chief support of this card. Not many people are talking about it. Reese Edwards, Thomas Patrick Ward. It's a big step up for Reese Edwards, isn't it?
A massive step up for Reese. But you know what? You know, here in Wales for that fight, you know, I like these kind of fights where they'll probably think, you know, you wouldn't expect the chief support may actually top, you know, the headline spot, the headline fight. And I think Edwards, I've seen him through and through all the way through his career. Good fighter, but he's biting off a lot, and therefore he wants to put it online here in Wales.
I want to talk about a fight coming up in the Boxer schedule. It's the rematch. Chris Billam-Smith, Richard Riakporhe at Selhurst Park. You know, a lot has changed since they first met. What are you thinking about that fight?
One's become a champion, believes in himself a lot more. One of them is a frustrated challenger. That's the only person to beat the champion that's there. One of them has the home advantage. The other, the responsibility of being a champion is to get in everybody's backyard and fight. So there's a lot on the line. There's a lot at stake for both fighters. There's a loss mean to the loser? Is it make or break? I think both guys are still learning on the job. Both guys have matured. It's 5 years since they boxed the last time, each against each other. both guys understand each other. The way Billam-Smith has matured, confidently wise, he believes in himself. He knows what he's capable of doing. He fought one of the most unorthodox, hardest champions and beat him out there in Pensacola. For Richard, he's learned to let his hands go, which he needs to do. Richard can punch. Richard now needs to know he can do it, not think he can do it. He now needs to know he can do it. So there's a lot at stake for both fighters. I don't think a loss for any of them actually is devastating the career, because some people you have to learn in defeat.
I want to talk to you about something just outside of the schedule here. Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney. It was a bizarre build-up, a lot of questioning over the build-up. Since then, it's come out there was adverse findings of Osterine in 2 of Ryan Garcia's tests. What's your thoughts on all of that? Has it just put a massive taint on the sport of boxing?
Unfortunately, it does, and we're hearing it time and time again. Well, I think Ryan Garcia, how he's dealing with it, he's getting hit head on. He said, "Look, this is what I took. Hey, what's good? This is what it was." So and I don't know if there's tests to find out if that's what it is and what's in ayahuasca was found in his system. A lot of fighters have taken ayahuasca, and is it a performance-enhancing drug? I don't know that side of it, but what I'm saying is what they found in his system. Now this is one thing they've got to find out. This is one thing we've got to prove. He's saying this is all I've done. That's what I've done. And if that's adverse, if that's a performance-enhancing drug, then I'm guilty. The line's the line. The line has to be firm. The line has to be drawn, because unfortunately in our own sport we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Conor Ben, an amazing talent coming through, fought and argued his case. He could have easily said, you know what, yeah, all right, did it and moved on, and that's what I've always said to do. But he's been adamant about that, to say, no, I'm not accepting that. And Dylan White, has he passed, hasn't he passed? Has he been passed on certain governing bodies, hasn't he? These are our fighters that we know and they don't know about. So it's just a line, a definite line has to be drawn, and an understanding. Otherwise, we're going to kill our sport, and that's just my take on it.
Another one that's drawn a bit of controversy. It was announced just over a week ago that Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is going to be sanctioned as a professional bout. What is your thoughts on all of that?
From day one, I just said for Mike Tyson, he's the same age as me, and everybody knows Mike Tyson's experience, what he's done, what he's achieved. Jake Paul Jake Paul doesn't know what Mike Tyson's forgotten, never mind. The one thing you can't cheat, the one thing you can't buy, the one thing you can't own is time. Mike Tyson, his best times have done. Even at the back end of his active career, he'd gone. His style suits a young, active man. So that Mike Tyson, you saw bam bam on it, he suits a man in his 20s, not a man that's 57 years old. If I got in there with like a 7-year-old running rings on me, his energy levels are going to be 10 times more than me. So no matter how much experience I have on him, his energy is going to be too much for me. And this is going to be the same here. The problem is, it's saying, is it an exhibition? Is it a fight? How's it going to be accepted? No matter what, if Tyson can knock Jake Paul out, he will. If Jake Paul can knock Tyson out, he will. Jake Paul's buying scalps. Could you believe Jake Paul would have beaten Anderson Silva? No, he wouldn't. So what he's doing is buying his scalp, because for his current audience, that young audience, they don't actually understand and appreciate the depth of Mike Tyson. They understand and appreciate the depth of your Anderson Silva. But Jake Paul, he's monetising his business. He's made himself into a business that works for him. And so the fight itself, if it's about the money, go for it, Mike. That's what it's about. If it's anything other than the money, you're making a bad move.
Talking though of heavyweight fights, we are just over a week away from the one that we've all been waiting for: Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk. A lot of people go back and forth wondering what's going to happen. What's your thoughts on that fight?
Good fight. I think the best version of Tyson Fury beats Oleksandr Usyk. I'm hearing about Martin McCauley knocking Usyk out in training. I got put down a lot in training, don't mean, not a lot, but it don't mean Jack Diddley. Fighting and sparring are two completely different things. I think anything less than an on-par performance from Tyson Fury, I think he loses. Anything less than that. I think the conditioning is in brilliant. That's about game plan and how he's going to execute what he wants to execute. If he gets the job, if he goes out there and does his job, he should win. Tyson Fury needs to be mindful now, because he's the one that made it public, his acknowledgement of him hitting Ngannou with the elbow, He knows he does that. He knows he does that kind of thing. If I was in Usyk's camp now, I'd be saying to all the officials, right, you watch for this. I'm putting you under pressure to get your job done. If the guy's elbows me, he hits me in the balls, I want a point taken away. So now we're in risk of there being controversy with this kind of thing, because if Tyson is under any kind of pressure, instinctively, it's not calculated, it's an instinctive move to react, because he's a fighting man. And so instinctively, if he's dropping a shot in, hitting with the elbow, or hitting with a forearm, hitting them low, he's going to get points taken off him. And that's where, if this fight goes the distance, that's where the discrepancy is going to lie. That's where the problem's going to be. And that's why I said the best form, Tyson's best form should win. But I expect there to be a controversial ending because of these things.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Johnny. Obviously, we'll let you crack on. Catch up with you in the week. Thank you very much.